If you're in business, we've all realized that relationship building is a good goal. Would you, yes? Because it's not a one-time sale. It's the life of that sale, the fortune that can be made by knowing somebody that'll know somebody that'll give you a referral. Well, I believe that when we really understand our relationship goals, we do better with them. So let me use one that's more close to all of us. Let's take, for instance, a relationship goal like a marriage. I think that marriage is, well, let me give you this. I got married 16 years ago to this man who moved me to Gaston. He is a horseshoer. Shawna Schuh married a horseshoer. It's a sickness. How many of you know his official name? Oh, look at that. Was it you, Farrier? Right. I used to say that. I would go across the nation. I would say, yes, I married a Farrier. And people would go, oh, aren't you open-minded? No, he puts shoes on horses. And I have to tell you something, when we moved out onto the Gaston, when we moved out there, we have chores. Now this is just like a business situation. I had a goal when I first got married, and he had the same goal, and here's what my goal was. I wanted to stay married. Is that a good goal? I think it is. Here's the second part. I wanted to stay married to the same guy. That's a little harder. Would you agree? Here's the third part. I wanted to stay married to the same guy happily. Are we talking work? We are talking so much work, and I was talking to Gary back there. How many years? 33, 34? 35 years he's been married. Who can beat that? Who's been married? I'll give him a 54? No? Are you more? How many? 54. Oh, you're the 54. Anybody? 45? Yay, now I'm going to tell you something. If you've been married a long time, you either communicate really well or not at all. So I want to give you a book. Here you go. For being give him a round of applause. 54 years of marriage. Woo! Now, when my husband and I moved onto the farm, here's what happened. We sat down and had a conversation because, like everybody you deal with, there are things that you do and there's things that they have to do. Are you agreed? Whether it be in a sale, whether it be with inside your team, whether it be, I met this wonderful woman from LeGrand who's a, there you are. What was your title? Licensed assistant. Does she have to be able to talk with everybody? Does everybody have to talk together? There has to be communication. So my husband and I sat down. We talked about all the chores we had to do living on a farm. Now, it was a longer conversation, but one thing we decided is I said, honey, he goes, what would you like to do? I said, you know what? I like the bed made. I will agree to make the bed every day. Is that okay with you? He said, you're the bed maker. I said, what do you want to do? He thought about it for a while. He said, well, you know, the garbage goes out every other week. Does that sound like anybody you know? Yes, you're laughing. I said, fine. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I felt it was equitable for two reasons. Number one, we live on a 20-acre working ranch. I was talking to somebody. Who was it, Bert? Is it Bert I was talking to? And I was saying, he goes, what do you do out there? And I go, we make manure. And we also spread manure. And he said, I think I might hear some of that today. So we went out, and when you live that far out, taking the garbage out is not an easy task. Because we have like a half-a-mile long drive, you have to take the garbage, and it only comes every other week, so is there a lot? Yes. It has to go in the back of the flatbed truck. It has to go down the day the garbage is coming. If you take it out a day early, what will happen? Animals will strew it everywhere. It is not an easy task. I said, honey, you're the garbage taker-outer. So things are going along fine. We're doing our jobs. This is the way projects start. I'm going to take care of these tasks. This is your responsibility to take care of those tasks, and we're all moving along fine. So Wednesday is garbage day. Wednesday comes, and Wednesday goes. And the garbage is still sitting there. Somebody made an error. Now, how I dealt with it greatly determines my goals. Would you agree? What is my goal again? Right, long-term happy marriage to the same person. Did I remember that morning? You're like, how much credit should we give her? No, you didn't. And you know what? No, I didn't. And now, I have ways, and all of us have ways to deal with somebody who doesn't do what they said they're going to do. Do I have every reason to be angry? Oh, yeah, he said he would do it. Is that agreed? I have been doing what I said I would do. He said he would do it, and he didn't. So, Tim, I'll use you as an example. May I?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, what could he say? So, Tim and I, we have this agreement. He didn't. Here's one way that we could deal with an associate, a spouse, anybody who doesn't do what they say they're going to do, and we've been doing what we say we're going to do. We could do this. Tim. I guess I should get your name right.
Yeah, that's a good start.
Honey! I cannot believe that you didn't take out the garbage. You know that I've been making the bed every day. You said you were going to take out the garbage just every other week, and you didn't even do it. I cannot believe that you did not take out the garbage.
Have we been married before?
Yeah. Did you hear him? Have we been married before? Yeah, and his wife's not here. Tim, are you married?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Tim Notice has said nothing. How long have you been married, Tim?
22 years.
22 years. This man has learned something in 22 years. Here you go. Now let me ask a question. Have all of us come unglued on somebody at one time or another like that? Of course we have. Have we had somebody come unglued on us like that? Obviously you, Bert.
Yes.
Does it give us a long-term successful relationship? It doesn't, because ultimately, the more you yell at somebody, the more, whether it's justified or not, he will start to resent me, yes or no? He will. It will, yeah. He'll go to the barn, which is why we have a very large barn. But let's say that you're looking at me going, Shawna, I have lived a little in my life, and I am now more wise than that. I would never, ever yell like that at an associate, or you certainly wouldn't do that for a homeowner, but, well, maybe. No. But you say, Sean, I would never yell. So we do this instead. What's your name, sir?
Alan.
Alan. All right. So let's use Alan. Can I use you as an example? Thank you. So let's say you're not going to yell. Let's say you look at Alan and you do this. So, Alan. You know, garbage day was Wednesday, yesterday, and you didn't do it. I can see Alan's mind working. He doesn't say anything. That's probably the best. How many of you have ever had somebody just let you know you're wrong with their voice? Anybody? Now, that's not any better than yelling. Would you agree? Matter of fact, when I talk to a man, it's worse. Who said it was worse? It is. It's worse when they just look at you like, you just don't have it. Yeah. By the way, will I have a long-term successful marriage with this man or a relationship? No, I won't. However, we've done this to people, haven't we? And we've had it done to us. So let's say you go, oh, wait, Shawna, no, I'm not going to do that. I would never yell, and I would never just make them wrong. I'm going to do this instead. Mike, okay, Mike's like, I'm sitting on the end, I'm going to get it. Look at his face, you can tell. How long have you been married?
Needed it.
20 years, okay, happily I can tell. So let's say that he is somebody new. Maybe he's somebody who intimidates me a little bit. Maybe he's more successful than I am inside our office. He and I have agreed to do something, and he didn't do it. I've been doing what I was going to do. I certainly am not going to yell. Is that true? All right, I'm not going to make him, I'm not going to do that to him. Oh, okay, I know what I'll do. I know what I'll do. I'll just go ahead and do it myself. Has anyone ever made that choice? Yes or no? Okay, obviously they can't do it. They're not going to do it. I'll just do it myself. Now, will that give me, with Mike, will that give me a long-term successful relationship with Mike? No, I love it. You're a good group. You all say no. I've been in groups where the men go, well, hang on for a minute. You mean you take out the garbage and never say anything else about it? I could find value in that choice. All right? However, whose job will it be? My job. And who will never remember that it was ever his job? Mike. And ultimately, who will have the resentment and who will ruin the relationship somewhere down the road? I will. So let's say we do it completely different. Gary, I got to use you as an example. So Gary, do you have a minute? Can we talk?
Sure, you bet.
Sure, he says. He doesn't know what's coming. Now, let me ask a question. Most of the time when we want to get somebody's attention, we have got to ask, do you have just a minute? Not threatening, not yelling, not angry, just open. Do you have a minute? And he says, sure. Then I say, do you remember the conversation we had a couple weeks ago?
Vaguely.
Vaguely. Okay, now I'm starting to understand something about Gary. No. However, he vaguely remembers it. Most of us have conversations and forget it immediately. How many of you have sent an email and can't remember if you did it? Yes or not? So you send it again, and people are thinking either they're very thorough or they've lost their minds. So Gary and I had this conversation. Gary, do you remember what we agreed?
Yes, yes.
Oh, good. You remember. I was going to make the bed. And what were you going to do?
Occasionally do the garbage.
Occasionally do the garbage. Okay, I love Gary. So, and I say, you know what, Gary, yesterday was garbage day. And what's Gary going to do probably right now? Yeah, hitting the hand on the head is a good thing. Yeah, he's going to go, oh, phew, I what? Forgot. And probably Gary did what? Forget. Thank you, Gary. Let me ask a question. Did my husband not take out the garbage because he hates me? Oh, yeah, don't answer that, I guess. He simply didn't take out the garbage because he what? Forgot. Now let me explain something that happens to us in communication and our motivation. We get so angry because it affected what? Us. It affected our job. I can't do my job because you didn't do your job. I can't get that paperwork in because you didn't sign this. You didn't do this. When it really comes down to it, they probably just what? Forgot. It has nothing to do with you. And so when I realized that I could just say, hey, honey, can we go over this again? Because I remembered my I wanted a long-term successful marriage. Here's what I have to ask myself all the time. Do I want a happy marriage or do I want to be right? Do I want a happy marriage or do I want to be right? You see, because God knows I am right. However, I have opted for a what? Happy marriage, which means I have to have the courage to communicate with everybody. The people who I'm working with, my husband, I have to communicate. And if I can just communicate and say, can we go over that again? You know, then we know. Now, if they keep doing it again and again, I've done some other things. My husband and I, jobs have changed. Basically, I travel now most of the time, and my husband does everything else, and I'm liking it. But it also hurts a marriage when you're traveling, yes or no? It does. So I now do other things.